I have no illusions that you're here to see me. You going to come up here? Okay, go on that side. That's your side of the stage. That's good, right there. Right there. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and change the slide, please. In fact, you're going to go 2 now. One more. Come on. Are you ready for this? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
We love you.
We bless you. And we know you are perfect. Yes, she is.
It's done.
You're done? Yeah. Okay, let them, wait for them, wait for them. You got your...
That's wonderful. Wait for your posse.
No. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Whoa! And now I'm supposed to give a meaningful message. At least I have a topic. Let's see. Oh yeah, patience and perseverance. I'm becoming an authority on this. But what I want to start with is talking about the world we live in today, in that seems to be that we are in a culture of instant gratification. Let me give you the perfect example. It's called Amazon Prime. You get on your little device, you order it, tomorrow it's at your door. Boom. Let's see. Another one that I've seen in my life quite a bit is when Barbara and I would sit and watch a movie on TV or something of that sort. I would inevitably say something like, I wonder what other movies she was in, because I recognize her. And in less than a minute, Barbara tells me, because she Googled it. Google is now a verb. So we live in a world like that where things come very, very quickly. And it seems really good. It seems wonderful that we live in a world where things come to us quickly. However, I'm not sure it's the highest level of living that we should expect everything to come immediately. For example, if you speak to a developmental psychologist, especially a child psychologist, they will tell you that if you ask a 4-year-old If they want a quarter now or they want $1 on Wednesday, the 4-year-old will always take the quarter because they have no concept of delayed gratification. They want it now. So when you're wanting it now, you're thinking like a 4-year-old. Not that it's bad to get things right away. I know that there have people probably in this room that treated for something, did spiritual mind treatment, and opened their eyes and it was there. So that happens. But I want you to know that they are not more highly evolved than you, if that hasn't happened to you. Because this time-space continuum is not a mistake. It's not a flaw. It's not a shortcoming in how we live our lives. We're here to live our lives. We're here to experience life. We're here to delve into life, to immerse ourselves in life. And that includes time. So there's some tools we use to make that work for us. And the first one is patience. I really don't remember what the next slide is, so let's find out together. Oh yeah, this is Barbara's altar. Some of you might recognize some of the things on there because many of these things are from you. There's some stuffed animals, there's some balloons, there's some beautiful pictures. The two good-looking guys on each side of Barbara are her grandsons. And she's got Bliss up there. She's got Carol's poem up there, Elizabeth. And all these cards and wonderful little gifts that have come to her. And we set that up on the dining room table, and I think Barbara liked it when she found it. Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know that you didn't, it's not that you didn't get noticed. I may not have thanked you for any of these things, but they're in our home. So moving on to whatever it was I was talking about. Patience, yes, is the ability to withstand something difficult or irritating without a loss of composure. Now, that definition works pretty well, but the essence of patience is not in the how you look to other people. It's how you function under stress, how you function in life in a meaningful way. And I would never tell you that I've got this one figured out and that I always say the right thing or do the right thing under stress. Sometimes I really screw up. I say things that seem so appropriate in the moment and then spend time regretting it. And regret is not a helpful thing to do either. But I think that's part of life, is that sometimes we have missteps. Sometimes we don't do exactly what in the long run we realize was a mistake. So life goes on and we learn and we grow from it. But there's this thing about being patient that I'm finding in this process of Barbara's recovery, and honest to God, it's my recovery too, is that patience is an essential quality. Because if I find myself being impatient or thinking it's not what's happened isn't good enough, I'm denying myself the win. I'm denying myself a celebration for something wonderful. And that doesn't help anybody, especially me. So I'm working on this idea of having a greater amount of patience in my life so that I can do my life in a way that is not only helpful to me, but to those around me. And it's sort of working. And like I said, Barbara's my great teacher on this, and it's working. It seems to be working better than it ever has in my life. Yeah, thank you. So I brought you a quote from St. Thomas Aquinas. Patience enables us to bear difficulties in such a way that we are not broken by sorrow or led to forsake the way of virtue. Patience preserves peace of mind in the face of injury, pain, and sadness. It prevents us from being discouraged or losing our courage. Isn't that lovely? We need to be courageous in life. Courage is one of those things that carries us through those hard times. But if you don't have patience, you can't have courage. So the idea here for me is that even if it doesn't look right, even if it doesn't feel right, resist finding fault. Know that it's still unfolding. That's one of the great lines in our movement is that we're perfect, we're just not complete. And that's true of all the circumstances of our lives as well, is give it time to complete. It may not look like you want it to look right now. It may not feel like you want it to feel. Be patient and continue to know the truth of who you are. Continue to know the truth of that condition, that it's shifting. I have to tell you, when I saw Lynn Villa laying in that bed unconscious with a head full of staples, I had no thought that she could make it. But I learned patience and gave her time to find her way, and I kept going to see her. So did Barbara. Barbara went to see her almost every day. Barbara went to see her on one night in December when I was traveling. And as it got cold really quick that day, and she slid down that, if you know Care Partners, it's when Lynn was at Care Partners, she slid down that driveway, managed to stop the car and get home, at least get close to home. She came the back way down Amboy Road and up through the smaller streets, and she called me, and we kind of went home together. And I just visualized her making the right turns and staying in the middle of the road when there was ice everywhere. And that was a moment of patience and knowing that she could get home safely. And that was the one time that I encouraged her to come in the exit. And it worked beautifully, and she got home safe. You know, patience is this wonderful gift, but it's not something that comes naturally. The 4-year-old is not patient. The baby wants the food now. But we're able to use this. I think it's a spiritual tool so that we can find our way and give time its chance to work. Because we can know the truth. But if we're impatient with having that truth reveal itself as a demonstration, we're going to limit our ability to create the life we want. We're going to do this other thing, and we're going to give up. And that's the other piece that I want to talk to you about. I'm betting, no? Well, let's see. Yes, perseverance. That's the other side of this coin. Because you can be patient with something and still give up. But perseverance won't allow that. If you're going to have this wonderful spiritual essence of perseverance, it says perseverance is the determination to stick with something and stay on course even in the face of obstacles. Stick with it. Don't give up. Now, that doesn't mean you can't change your mind. You absolutely can. Because all day long we're making choices, and if that choice doesn't take us to a place we like, we can choose something else. I'm not suggesting that if you say you're going to do something that you have to do it. You don't. But if you give up because it didn't happen fast enough, because it didn't turn out at some point the way you thought it was going to turn out, and you just are going to abandon the thing altogether, maybe that's something to reconsider. Maybe that's something to look at again. Maybe there's something there that wants to be revealed, but it needs that same thing we just talked about, time. It needs some time to find its way. You are not deficit if you're waiting for something to show up in your life. As long as you're doing the work, as long as you're paying attention, as long as you're present in the moment, you're doing your work. So be patient and persevere. Stay with it. Don't give up. And sometimes the perseverance is just about how you pray, knowing the truth that it's already so, even though you can't see it. You couldn't see it yesterday when you prayed for it. You couldn't see it the day before when you prayed for it. But today, you know it's so, as much or more than you ever have, and you give it the time to show up in your life. You give it that moment to happen for you. Yeah. So I got some great quotes that go with perseverance. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. You have great works in your life. You have great things to do. And I'm not talking about things that are going to make the news. I'm talking about the important things of life. Those great things of touching someone else's heart or doing something special for someone, or going out of your way to make something wonderful happen. It takes perseverance for those things to happen. None of them happen like that. They all need a little time, a little energy, a little extra focus so that you can get where you're going. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Kind of feels like where Barbara and I are. It's like we took a tumble, but we're getting up, and it's taken some time. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it taking time. In fact, it's taking less time than I imagined, so it's even getting better all the time. But even if it was taking longer, I'm in. I'm in for the run. We're going to do this, whatever it takes. And my favorite quote on perseverance. Perseverance is stubbornness with a purpose. Ooh, I saw that one and I had to have it. Right then, I had to have it. As long as we have a purpose, as long as we know why we're doing things, it's okay to persevere. It's okay to be patient. It's okay to give things time to unfold in a way that serve all of us. It could be that this thing that you want isn't there yet because it's going to touch other lives too. And so maybe those people aren't quite ready for it. That's okay. That's all right. Be patient. Stay with it, and you'll find your way in this. It's important to do this. It's important to remember who you are in the midst of all that. You haven't lost, you haven't missed, you haven't done anything wrong. Just focus and know the truth and stay with that and never give up. If it's yours to have, if it's yours to do, if it's yours to be, then let it be. Let's see what I've got over here that causes me to put another thing like that in there. I already said that patience and perseverance, to me, are spiritual practice. That I call upon them when I don't know what else to do, when I'm not sure what the next step needs to be. But I have to tell you, I've never taken a step that I regret when I was paying attention, when I was focused on what I wanted. I have no regrets. Have I done some things that I wish I didn't do? Sure, but I wasn't paying attention when I did those things. I just kind of blurted them out or did them and then dealt with the consequences. Right now I'm saying that if you are clear about what you want, where you're going, who you are, and you stay on that narrow pathway, you will get to where you're going. I'm absolutely certain of that. So I have another quote, this one from Dr. Holmes. Every problem is primarily mental, and the answers to our problems are found through spiritual awareness. Awareness. Be aware. Remember who you are. Work from that. And I want you to know that what I'm learning about Barbara's physical challenges right now is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's a gift. It's a gift. I've never been so in love with this woman. I have never been so happy to wake up next to her, to bring her coffee, to tell her I love her. Yeah. So this has been a gift. As crazy as it is, as unexpected as it was, it's a gift. Because I still got you. Yeah. Now I want to talk about my native teacher, Rocking Bear, who taught me about the medicine wheel and about this idea of each direction having specific meanings and value to the native people and to anyone who learns from those traditions. The things of perseverance and patience come when you stand in the West, as they say. That's the place of the great bear. That's the place where we remember how strong we are, where we remember how capable we are. It's the place where we learn to stay with something, to persist and persevere and have passion and remember who we are. Because we all forget sometimes, we do. And when we're in that challenge of life, all that challenge is about is to remind us of who we are. And we are the presence of the divine. We have power beyond our wildest understanding. And when we can apply it consciously with the awareness of who we are, we can achieve things that people call miracles. That's our quest. That's what we're doing. So don't think when something difficult comes to you in your life that somehow that's wrong, that you've done something wrong, that you have something missing in your consciousness. That's not true. That has come into your life because you brought it in. You opened the door and invited it in, and it's there to remind you of who you are, that you are greater than whatever it looks like. You are greater than that. And when we remember that, we get the result we're looking for. Maybe not instantly, but we get the result that we're looking for. So we stand in the West and we learn about ourselves. You know that thing about being on the mountaintop? That lovely image of standing up and seeing for just miles and miles, for so far out into the world. The thing about being there is, first of all, you can't see much detail up there. Everything looks pristine and beautiful. And it is. It really is. And you can't learn a whole lot up there. You had to learn things to get there. And you're up there looking at the vistas and totally enthralled with this amazing thing called life. And then all of a sudden you find yourself down in the valley. How did that happen? How did this go wrong? Kind of goes with those people that have the fear that things are going so nicely that means that something bad's going to happen. Well, nothing bad's going to happen, but you can't stay on the mountaintop forever. What does that do? It's lovely, but you don't accomplish anything. So suddenly you find yourself in the valley again. You've got a challenge. You've got something to deal with. It's there so that you can learn about you. It's not a bad thing to stand in the West. It's not like, oh no, I'm going to hang out in the South where we have abundance and love and family and all these wonderful things. Or I'm going to stand in the North where the elders do their work, where the wisdom is so strong and clear and I can know all these things. Or I'm going to stand in the East, which is the place of spirit, of pure spirit, of the eagle flying high. Those are lovely. No, you get to go be the bear. You get to go have the issue. You get to go have something to work out so that you can remember who you are. We're here to remember who we are. And every time we experience that by overcoming an obstacle in our lives, by living the life we've come to live, we learn. We learn about ourselves. That's really all we need to learn about, is who we are. And when we have that level of confidence and clarity and compassion, not only for ourselves, but for our fellow travelers, then we're living the life we came to live. Yes, we're going to bleed a little. Yes, we're going to be sore and tired and sick. And we're going to overcome it because that's what we're here to do. We do that in the West. This is my final quote from Dr. Holmes in The Science of Mind. It's one of my favorites. What we demonstrate today, tomorrow, and the next day is not as important as the tendency which our thought is taking. The dominant attitude of our mind, if everyday things are a little better, a little happier, a little more harmonious, a little more health-giving and joyous, if each day we are expressing more life, we are going in the right direction. Come with me. Let's go in the right direction. It's a beautiful trip. There's wonderful things happening. Now, this thing about being patient and letting things unfold has a richness to it that is extraordinary. And you got to be paying attention to get it. I had one this week. All the therapists have been very clear about how this works, and they're much like physicians that way. They base it on what other people have done. And there's value in that, but I think at the same time, sometimes these are limiting thoughts. One thing that was said to me by a therapist at Care Partners is that the hand is the last thing to come back. Okay. Well, Barbara's been making great strides at walking and doing stairs and working with that. And she's even got some movement here in her shoulder. But last Wednesday, I had just come home and Margaret had just left. And Barbara said, "Hey, John, look at this." And she had her hand like this. And her fingers moved. Just a little bit. They had not moved at all since this happened. There had been nothing until that moment. So I just sat there and sobbed. I did, because they said that would be the last thing that would happen. And there she was, moving her fingers. Just a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. Now, other people saw this, and they were happy. Kate saw that and said, "Yeah, move it more. Now open it. Now close it again." You know, she had her working immediately on that. I was just a slobbering mess about it, you know, because it was one of those off-distance things that would happen someday. And it happened last Wednesday. Yeah. So. And as with Barbara and me, your life is going to get better and better and better if you'll simply allow yourself to be patient, to be clear, and to persevere toward that you desire. And all is well, because all is God. That's the truth. I love you very much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barbara Waterhouse.
And I'm John Waterhouse. Thank you for watching this message today.
Through our website, CSLAsheville.org, we have over 1,000 messages, classes, and New Thought books, all to download at no charge to anyone.
Producing this incredibly valuable collection of ideas is really making a difference in the world. It's changing lives everywhere.
Please go to our website, CSLAsheville.org, and click the Donate button. You can support this life-changing ministry, and when you do, we'll send you a note of thanks and also put you on our daily prayers.
By doing this, you're helping to raise the consciousness of people across the entire globe. We're changing lives together, those lives that are being more prosperous, more healthy, and more joyous. Thank you for being a part of this important work and supporting what we do here at CSL Asheville.
Thank you.